Seems like it's quite a painful and chaotic time for a lot of us in terms of endings of karmic cycles and patterns. Whether we're watching other people go through the breaking of certain programming and readdressing priorities in life, or whether we're experiencing things in our own lives. One of the main things that keeps coming up is letting go and surrendering. It seems like because we're all being presented with some people are presented with such uncertainty, and that destabilizes a lot of us in the program mind of needing to know everything, like that control, that fear element, which doesn't exist in the reality when we claim unconditional love for life, for ourselves, for the eternal soul. And it's painful to watch people, and we all have to process our emotions very differently, and we're all going through it at different stages. So whenever I observe others, it's never in a non-judgment. It's like oh yeah, I see where you're at, and I've been there, and whether it rears its head or not, it's not about being ahead or behind anybody else. It's just compassion, empathic sort of observation, understanding of somebody else's journey. And that's the beauty of community and life and love, is that we can sometimes put ourselves in other people's shoes, get out of our own way and allow things to unfold. And so there's a lot of untapped emotion that some of the elders, some people haven't really looked at or observed in their lives in ways that maybe some of us at a younger age, or with different missions, have been looking at and observing, so that we can emotionally regulate better, so that we can lean into our true essence of trust and truth and faith, of a higher guidance at all times. And I can see the uncomfortability, and we just have to stick with it. I think the best lesson, and having sort of learnt a lot about mindfulness and the 7 principles of letting go and surrendering and non-judgment and various things, is we're never going to really know what the destination point is. We're never really going to know what the end outcome is of a situation. And the needing to know is where a lot of the pain and the extended suffering comes from, like trying to control a future vision out of a fear mindset. When we come to unconditional love of self, like, we have to be in the mindset frame of, and this is also part of the deprogramming and conditioning of society, is like the deprogramming from the conditioning of the people, is that we need to love ourselves so much to the point that we're good on our own. I'm not saying we stay on our own, but to the point of moving through these chaotic energies. Sometimes we're not carrying our own stuff. We're carrying things from other people, places and things. Also timelines. There is a lot of past life resurgence right now that is also triggering people's trauma, present day and past. And people are experiencing very deep and dark things. And this is, where we don't fear the shadow. We integrate it. We know what our weird stuff is, our dark shadowedness. We know our certain trigger points. We know our perversions, or we know, however we word it. We all have shadows. And when we love ourselves unconditionally, which is part of the ongoing process of life and integration of self, is we let go and we surrender, and learning more about the divine feminine that is in all of us, regardless of how we identify. We have these two energies which dance together, and feminine and masculine, which I guess beyond time and space they're not really called masculine and feminine. It's yin and yang, it's alpha and omega, it's the duality, which again I'm not really sure about this oneness consciousness in terms of like, I'm not really sure how it's working. I'm still, certain things are coming through to me at the minute, but I still very much see this polarity. And until some people who've never addressed the shadow side, like with love, I'm not sure how that gets transmuted into unity consciousness, because not all of us can do it for everybody. There obviously the star seeds have been activated for certain things, but so that was a tangent. There's high timelines coming in, so I'm just trying to stay present, which is the point, staying present. Thank you. Because when we let go and we surrender and we accept current situations, I'm not saying we can't feel anger or we can't feel frustration or we can't feel sadness about certain situations that are playing out in our lives, which we've chosen. They're there for the lessons. The karmic lessons present themselves because it shines a light on where we need to heal ourselves, whether we're too reactive, whether we're spiteful in our actions, whether we eat too much, overeat. Like there's a lot of things that we're being presented with that are painful, because sometimes looking in the mirror is painful. And I really just wish love and peace and healing to everybody, and want this theme of surrender and letting go and detachment to be part of our daily goals and motivations, because when somebody else chooses something for them, it's not about us. If the outcome is not for the highest benefit of everyone, we can't make a judgment. We have to accept somebody else's, we can't live life for somebody else. They can't live it for us. And even though, actions impact us and might pain us, is that we choose how long we want to hold on to those emotions and the suffering. And we have to make sure that we feel the feelings, and they can resurface. When you think you let go of something, it might resurface with a song or something else is a trigger. It can be a lesser trigger, can be an enormous trigger. It depends on where we need to do the healing work. But this is part of the game, I believe. I've come to realise in this little present timeline is that we have to root ourselves in detachment, and when we do things for other people, we can't expect anything back. Otherwise, there's ties and attachments to what we do for people. It's not done out of love. It's done out of a need for personal gain. And I don't mean that in a contrived way. I just mean we want time off someone, we want love off someone, because we're not able to nourish and give that to ourselves. And so we have to, getting back to the original tangent, gosh, this energy is weird, is we have to be at the point where, which is what society has conditioned us against, is loving ourselves. Like when people say, who she thinks she is, she loves herself so much, or he's so full of himself. What is wrong with somebody loving themselves? We don't need to be arrogant about it, and we don't need to express it in a negative way towards others, but we can embody love, we can be love, we can love ourselves so much and know our and know the growing pains, and know the weaknesses, and know the strengths, 747. And God, there's a lot of clearing that's being done. And root ourselves in love. We have to find the love of self first. If we cannot give ourselves that full, total nourishment, we are not going to get that from anything external, including relationships, familial or the wider community or the cycle. Like, we're just a reflection of each other. And until we have a deeper understanding of energy, which some of us have got that program, others don't, which is okay, but I trust these are great energies to work with, because it's opening portals, opening high realms of consciousness, it's opening awakening for people, so that today I might have this program and someone doesn't have it, and then tomorrow they might start to dream different things and realise that, it doesn't matter. Nothing externally matters. I'm not saying it's not painful, but the processing is detaching from the pain, like not holding on to it and needing things from the external realm. We have to function in a physical reality, obviously, but we have to maintain love as the language, and we need to maintain peace in our hearts. And I read a good quote today, something about, maybe Benjamin Zephaniah, so that could be coming through, is, let me try and find it. Was it peace is not active? Let's see, sorry for the delay. Peace is active, not passive. It's the absence of fear, not just the absence of war. And I thought that was nice when that came up, because I really respected his words. But anyway, off the track. Yeah. Please let's carve out the lives that we want so we don't expect other relationships to fulfill our personal needs, because that's not fair on anybody. It's not fair on ourselves. It's not fair on other people. And also, let's be a little bit more aware of what other people might be going through and how our decisions and choices might impact others, you know. It's not all about one-sided behaviour and taking all the time. If relationships are to work for the benefit of the duo, the partnership, we're going to have to be able to compromise. It can't always be. I've been around people where they just want things all their way all the time. It has to be on their terms. They really don't get me, that my love might be big or confusing to some people, but we it's gone. I mean, literally, no idea what's going on right now. Timelines feel very healing though as well when we lean into it and we spend time. It could be because the sun's shining more and we're just in a natural state of spring, blossoming, opening, curiosity, which is a positive vibration. And so I'd just be mindful to stay away from anything that's heavy and dense and expecting and controlling of certain outcomes, and allow for time and patience to be part of the healing work, knowing that nothing is ever final. Things always can gravitate around in a cycle in a positive way, in a more harmonious way, when people get distance and time to think about things and what they desire for themselves and for the planet and the legacy they leave and the vibration that we all root ourselves in. So yeah, I'm 1:44 on the clock.